Hi, welcome to tonight's video. My name is Kelly Jan, and I'm currently a Senior Ruby Ambassador with Plexus Worldwide, and I really appreciate your time tonight. Tonight's topic is being a man-bassador in Plexus, which definitely is a completely made-up word. We are all, most of us on the call are Plexus ambassadors, but there are many of you who are just checking this out for the first time, and maybe you have thought to yourself, I think Plexus is just for women, and I'm here to tell you that Plexus is for men and women, and so I have asked a few of the men that have become ambassadors on our team to share with us tonight, and I actually have reached outside our team as well. So the first thing that I want to share with you is actually a video by Derek Coverly. He is a gentleman who is on our wider team. So I do actually want to be able to share with you his picture. Derek actually sent me this, and I'm going to share with you. Just hold tight 1 second. Because I thought it was pretty funny that this is what he sent me. Let me share my screen with you guys. So this is what Derek sent me when I asked him to send me his before and after picture with Plexus. So hopefully you guys will get a little bit of a kick out of that. I thought it was pretty cute. But this is actually Derek's before and after picture. And there we go. So Derek, if you ever want to search him, you can look him up on YouTube. You can look him up on Facebook. He is someone that I've met at several different meetings with Plexus, and he talks about how when he first started with the Plexus products, it was a result of him going to multiple doctor's appointments. He was in a wheelchair, and when he came home from one of his appointments, someone had put Plexus on his doorstep, and he would let you know that Plexus has been life-changing for him, as you can see on the screen. And so I reached out to Derek a couple of days ago and asked him to share with us a few minutes about what Plexus has meant for him. And so I want to share that with you guys. So I'm actually going to share with you a little video that Derek put together, and hopefully you'll be able to hear it. Let me know if I need to turn it up for you guys.
On my front porch, and wanted to go ahead and take a moment and talk about being a manbassador in Plexus Worldwide. You may have followed my story. You may have come out of my wheelchair, come off my medication, not deal with the hot flashes at night, and all that sort of type of stuff, right? You can learn more about my story at my website, and it's myyourstory.com. Because today I wanted to go ahead and talk about being a manbassador like Worldwide. Now, this company, the health and wellness company, being a health and wellness company, generally, a woman is more concerned about their outside appearance, what they look like, all that sort of stuff, right? So obviously, there are more women in this business than there are men. But again, if you just, that's why I'm at the top. Guys, this past year I got to go ahead and be a part of the Washington. But 1% of the company had the opportunity to be able to earn that trade. But I got to be able to be there with some of the top ones in the company and pick their brain. But that's what it does, guys. I love the opportunity that we all have in listening. Now, being a I'm going to tell you things right now. You need to have integrity. You need to be a man of integrity, right? So when you are a man of integrity, people see that. People can trust you. The other part of it is your spouse trusts you, or your husband trusts you, right? My testimony, I have a lot of people that come up to me and want to have a picture with me, whether it is a male or female type thing. But I've never had someone ask me, hey, Derek, what's your wife think about having your picture taken with that guy? No, it's always what's your wife thinking now? She has a ticket with all these women, right? And so my wife is not a jealous wife. I don't give her any read down my intake. She knows that I am married to her. Okay? I come home to her. She is my wife. She is my love. She is my life. Okay? And she will always be that way. So when I am at these meetings and I'm getting to meet different people, they come up to me, that's all fine, right? So I have no problem with that because I'm good what I am in my relationship. It's not about both of us. Honest with both of us. My wife knows every username, password of all my accounts, all that stuff. She can go on my cell phone, my iPad, my laptop, whatever.
Hey guys, so I'm getting some feedback from you that it is a little bit hard for you to hear on the YouTube sharing. So I'm going to take that off, and I'll share these links with you guys in the notes from the event, because I definitely want you to hear what Derek has to say. There's also Brandon Clenny, who is on our team, and I want you to be able to hear from him as well. So I'm going to share that with you guys through the notes on the event. So I apologize for that, but there's some sound quality issues tonight because I definitely want you to have that information. Am I pretty clear? Can you guys hear me okay? Okay, good. All right, so I will continue to jump in. Yeah, there's like a ton of you that are saying that it's just a little bit hard to hear. So yes, I will definitely share the link for you guys later. So I do want to jump in. There are a couple of slides that I want to share with you, and there are some of the gentlemen that are on our team that I also want to share with you guys because there are several gentlemen on our team who are building Plexus as their main focus, and there are also several of you who are building Plexus to support your wives in this endeavor, which is awesome. And so there are a couple of you that I want to highlight first who are sharing Plexus as their main focus. And so one of those is Anthony Toll. And I'm going to ask you while I'm speaking, if you want to go ahead and unmute yourself, that would be great. And I'll go ahead and share my screen again, just so that you can see some of the folks that are going to be sharing. So this is Anthony's picture. I'm pretty sure that you can see my screen now. The picture on the left is Anthony in January of this year, and the picture over on the right is Anthony just today. Actually, his wife took this picture. You can definitely see the difference there. And then also Anthony Del Sandro. So we've got two Anthonys that are going to share with us who are currently building the business full-time. Craig Ring is also another one of our ambassadors that is sharing Plexus on a regular basis. He was not able to be on the call tonight, but I just wanted you to see some of the faces of the people that you have access to reach out to if you have any questions, if you want to know how they integrate Plexus into their sort of daily lives. And Anthony Del Sandro, if you will also unmute yourself, that would be great. And I want to ask you guys a few questions. So if both of you can let me know that you're unmuted, that would be awesome.
Can you hear me?
Sandro here.
Oh.
Okay, both of you are there. Great. Okay. So one of the very first questions that I want to ask both of you, and Anthony Del Sandro, I'll ask you first. What, other than the fact that your wives, I know that they both were interested in the Plexus products, what about Plexus drew you to the product specifically? So Anthony Del Sandro, I'll start with you.
All right. Well, mine was not like, many people get drawn to the product for weight loss, and that's not what I was drawn to it for. I was really skeptical, to be honest with you. I'm kind of an anti-supplement kind of guy. So
Okay.
When Jen started taking it, I was very skeptical about all the products. But my family is prone to hypoglycemia. So from time to time, if I don't eat correctly, my sugar will plummet and I'll just kind of fall out randomly every once in a while. So Jen said, hey, this stuff has been known to, work with, diabetics and hypoglycemics. So, if you start getting fuzzy head, try this. So I tried it for that. It worked very well for that. And then the energy boost benefit was just phenomenal for me. So I really kind of started getting interested in the products based on that. So my focus getting into it was not really the weight loss side of it, but what all the other products could do for you health-wise.
Okay, thank you. And what about you, Anthony Toll?
Well, for me, it was the weight loss. I was interested in losing weight, but once I found out about the energy and all those benefits of it, I was more interested in that because I have chronic sleep apnea, so I'm constantly tired. And I was a guy who drank 2 energy drinks a day. I would drink one in the morning just to get going, and I drink one in the middle of the day just to finish out the day. But now I don't have that problem. I have sustained energy throughout the day. I'm losing inches, as you can see, and it's great.
That's awesome. So as you guys had your wives that maybe were initially interested in the business, what is it about the Plexus opportunity itself that intrigued you enough to be able to start talking with your friends, your colleagues about the Plexus opportunity and to be able to share Plexus with others? And so, Anthony D'Alessandro, I'll go back to you first.
Okay. Well, Jen forced me into it, and I'm being held against my will. No, seriously. It was really kind of a strategic thing. Jen got into it for the, taking the products, and she initially was not interested in selling. Then she started getting involved in that and started to grow her side of the business. So I just sort of sat back and really watched her do her thing. And then I tend to be a very strategic person. So she jokingly from time to time said, well, I'm eventually going to get you on the team, right? Because you like to just run your mouth to people. And I said, whatever. And as I saw her business grow, I told her one day, I said, I'll get involved. I'll get on the team when it's the right time, when it's a strategic time for me to step in, and then we can start growing from a different angle. And that's how I looked at it, was because I focus on a lot of the other products. And if you see my post, I really don't post a whole lot on the weight loss side. I try to focus on all the other products in the business. And as we started to bring some people that, Jen initially talked to from the weight loss side that she didn't sign as a customer, we started to see that we were able to bring some more on board as we started really sharing the benefits of some of the other products. So we came in at a time that I could start addressing another side of the market that Jen really didn't have, because that's something that you got to be careful doing when you run in the same social circle. You don't want to burn all your people out on one thing. So sometimes you can take a different angle and a different approach to the products and really get people interested that weren't initially.
Excellent. And Anthony, can you share what your background is as far as your job, like what you do outside of Plexus?
Well, for the past 18 years, I was a law enforcement professional, but started teaching as a college professor 5 years ago. And currently right now I'm working with at-risk 16 to 18-year-old youth and teaching them in a high school setting for history and psychology. Okay,
great. All right, so Anthony, what about you? What about you drew you to the business side? I mean, I would love to take all the credit for it and say it was when you came to our house for that cookout and we were talking about, the trips and the money and everything, and that might be it. But what about it for you was really intriguing to get you and excited about the business side of Plexus?
It was the money. I actually.
There you go.
I actually forced my wife to do it. She was more interested in just taking it for the products and the weight loss and all the benefits of it. But I'm like a big Rich Dad, Poor Dad fan. And one of the things that Robert Kiyosaki always endorses is network marketing, for the simple fact that you're buying into a business system. And for the price, I mean, you can't start a business as cheap as you can start. So I knew the value in it. And just for me, I had to research the company itself because I never heard of Plexus. You hear about a
Okay.
lot of companies. So I want to research Plexus and see how long they've been around, how much money are people actually making, what's the training like. And so once she was excited about it, I was like, look, let's just do it. And then, yeah, going to the cookout and all those things got me fired. Because I think we started off slower than we needed to. But once you get around like-minded people, it kind of encourages and motivates you to just go all in. So it was definitely the
That's
money.
amazing. Thank you. As I sort of finish up this portion, and then I'm going to sort of transition into the support portion of the folks that are the men of Plexus, if you will, that are supporting their wives in a super way. If there is one bit of advice, Anthony, and I'll just stay with you, Anthony, so if there's one bit of advice that you could give to gentlemen that are on this call who are either checking Plexus out for the first time, or they are thinking about maybe signing up as a Plexus ambassador with their spouse, or just as a single person, what would be maybe one tip that you would give them as a man in the sort of Plexus world that, you know, if you had maybe done this differently, it would have made a difference, or if you had jumped in sooner, or just maybe one sort of tip that you could give somebody?
To me? For me? You said for me, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, one tip that I'll give somebody is just to do it. I mean, men are unhealthy. I think we actually live shorter lives than women, and money's for everybody. So it's no reason not to do it. And I
Okay,
would
thank you.
get a mentor. Yeah, get a mentor and listen
And
to
get a
them.
mentor. Okay, awesome. And what about you, Anthony Del Sandro?
Patience if you're calling the Plexus phone line, because that'll make you hurt somebody. No, I think really, as with any type of sales, you really need to know your product, and I think that you need to sample your product. Or if you know somebody that is using a particular product, really sit down and talk to them and understand what the product does and how it affects you, because it doesn't matter what you're selling. Any product that you're selling, you've got to have some knowledge. You got to have some understanding. Otherwise, people know you're feeding them a line out of a book. So if you actually experience the product a little bit, or you associate with people that do, then the product will sell itself.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate you guys sharing your point of view tonight. And I do want to sort of parlay that and shift a little bit into a conversation that I had with another one of our Manbassadors of Plexus. So if Anthony and Anthony, you guys will mute yourselves right now. And I'm going to ask for Brian Mangum and Daniel Pleasant and Andy Jan. You guys can unmute yourselves. I'm going to start to ask you a couple of questions, but I'm going to start with Brian. I'm going to pull his picture up here on the screen. And it's actually, I was reading in a book just the other 2 days ago about how to be a network marketing superstar. And it talks about how more and more men are entering into the world of network marketing due to the fact that more and more jobs are being shipped overseas and they're being outsourced. We have more and more people, men especially, who are being underemployed. And we have more and more men that are looking for a way to be able to not have to work 9 to 5, have more flexible hours, and make the income that they were accustomed to making maybe 5 years ago. And so Brian and I had a short conversation about that today, and I wanted to ask Brian about that specifically. Brian, are you on the call? Are you unmuted? You may have to unmute yourself. Let me see if I can see where you are.
Do you know how to unmute yourself?
Okay, it looks like that Brian is unmuted. Okay.
Check.
Brian, are you there? I see that Barry is unmuted.
Yes, I took her phone.
Brian, are you there?
Yes, hello.
Okay, good, great. Did you hear the question that I asked?
No, I did not.
Okay, so I'll just start that over real quickly. I mentioned that you and I had a conversation earlier today, a little bit how more and more men are looking at options to be able not to have to work 60, 70, 80 hours a week, to make the income that they're accustomed to making, but having more flexible hours and have more time with their families, and are more and more open to something like network marketing. And so I wanted to get a little bit of perspective from you on that, and just to sort of start off this next sort of section of the conversation.
Sure. Well, thanks for that, and thanks for having this meeting tonight. What I'm involved with is a weekly mentors group with a group of men who are entrepreneurs and multiple business owners, and it's a sounding board where we can share advice, we can be brutally honest with one another, we can share things with anonymity. I can't say that word. Being anonymous. And what's interesting is one of the guys just this week brought up a network marketing idea that he had, and it was a venture he was looking to get into, primarily because he didn't have to have a 9-to-5 job, and he didn't have to have the man to report to, and he could kind of set his own schedule and make whatever income he wanted. Well, the fascinating part to me was if he brought that up with a group of my friends locally, if we were in a bar or playing a game of hoops or something, he would have been laughed out of the place. But in this group of entrepreneurs, there was no laughing. It was all serious, and everyone encouraged him. And there was some really good feedback that came out of that meeting from some guys that I really respect and some really smart men, which was interesting because I haven't always had that same thought process with network marketing.
So for you personally, what do you think is maybe one of the things that held you back?
Ignorance is one, because it's not a vertical that I knew anything about, but also, it doesn't have the best track record from, in history.
Okay. So just not taking it seriously.
Sure.
So I have asked you and Daniel Pleasant, and also Andy, who is my husband, to talk more about the support side of Plexus and how you have been supportive of us, been supportive of your spouse in Plexus, and how there are ways other than going out and posting daily on Facebook or constantly bringing new people to the business, how you're able to support your spouse. And so I actually want to ask Daniel a question. Daniel, if you can tell a little bit maybe about your background and what you do for your current job, and maybe just list a few ways that you have been supportive of Casey and how you're helping her to build your Plexus business. Obviously, you're a product of the product. I mean, I have your picture up here on the screen, and I would love for you just to share a few things about your journey with Plexus and how you've been able to be supportive of Casey.
Sure. Let me say this is my first ever Zoom call too. I feel very flattered that I was invited, and then to get to see my back fat in front of everybody here, even more
Love
excited.
it.
Appreciate that, Kelly.
Yeah, no problem, Daniel.
So started taking the products shortly after Casey. It was this past September. Obviously saw results from that, still see the results. I am a estimator for a demolition company here in Charlotte. I have, odd hours. I actually have to leave to go check on a night shift right after I shut this laptop down tonight. But that is what I do. That's my career. as far as supporting Casey in this endeavor, I guess the biggest thing that I do is she and I, several months ago when she decided to really take it seriously and we started seeing the income showing up in our bank account, was the talk that we had was that she was going to need to dedicate herself to this for, it was going to be at least a year until we started really seeing the money coming in and could start slowing down in other parts of our lives. So knowing that the time, which was usually hours in the evenings, once the kids go to bed, we dim the lights a little bit, was probably going to be gone for a little bit of time, while she's on calls and checking on customers and following up with potential customers and dropping off Plexus to people. And so just understanding and knowing that our time might be limited a little bit and being okay with that, because pretty soon we're going to be making so much money that it won't matter anymore. So but I also help with just tonight left church, and to save Casey some time, I dropped off I don't know if it was a 7-day trial or not, but dropped off some products for a customer, and just supporting her every way I can. But for the most part, it's the time, being okay with the amount of time that she needs to spend on the business.
And wearing your Plexus swag.
And I go to events with her and wear my T-shirt and wear my hat, and I talk about it to everybody because I do believe in the products. So I've had a little hand in that side of it too.
Well, that's amazing, Daniel. I mean, I think there are, I know there are people and there are women in this business and just other, and even men who wish that their spouse or their partner was as supportive as you're being okay with that time away. And I think sometimes people don't take as seriously this network marketing business, but like you said, when you see the check come in, you're like, okay, maybe this is for real. And I, with that, want to thank you and thank Brian, and I'm going to give Andy, my husband, a little bit of time to talk, because I know that I, too, rely on him very heavily to allow me to build the Plexus business. So thank you, Daniel, very much. And I may maybe ask you one more question before we get off here. But, Andy, I don't know if you are unmuted.
Maybe did awesome.
Are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. Oh, I really hate that picture.
That's okay. That's part of being supportive in this business, because I show that picture to people all the time, multiple times a day.
I'm not sure yours.
I know. I really appreciate that. As far as being supportive, you really want to do everything you can to support your spouse, whether it's a husband or a wife or whatever, in the job or profession that they've chosen to do. I kind of liken it to, say, your spouse is a vice president of the Fortune 500 company. And they say, you know what, hey, next week I got to go to Switzerland for meetings. Or, hey, I got to go to China to meet with manufacturers. Or, hey, I got dinner meetings tonight. Or whatever it happens to be. You make it work, because that's their business. And you look at it as a business. Sure, right away with this business, you're not necessarily seeing the rewards come in, but at no point in any job or any profession that you're starting off in are you going to be making hundreds of thousands of dollars overnight anyway. You've got to put the time in to be able to reap the rewards. Right now, obviously, Kelly is working multiple jobs. she's focusing a lot of time on Plexus, and I really just try to give her the time, as Daniel said, give her the time to do what she needs to do. I don't help out as far as posting or getting the word out there over social media. I mean, I'm barely on social media anyway. But, if I'm talking to people face to face and people are asking about Plexus, a lot of times guys will think, whether if we're playing golf on a golf course, we're talking about Plexus, they'll say, well, is it really for guys or is it just for women? Well, sure, I say it's pretty much just for women, unless you have a body that you want to be healthy. That is for guys too. It's really, something that everybody can use, and whoever's working the business needs all the support they can get, because it is time consuming to start, to get off the ground, just like any business.
No, I do really appreciate that, because I think that when you talk about someone flying off to China or Switzerland or anything else, I mean, if my spouse or if you said, hey, I've got to be on a business trip for the next 3 days, and that's your job, I would never question it. And of course, I would do everything that I could to make that happen for you. And I know that I'm in a job right now where I do have to travel. And so since I've stepped into that role in my job, Andy has been super supportive to step in and do things that he didn't have to do before, like help out with laundry or making sure the kids are here or there. And he has been very, very supportive, and so I'm very thankful for that with the Plexus business, that he has treated it as seriously. And now we're at a point where this month I'll be a Ruby that I will be an Emerald Ambassador with Plexus, and that is a 6-figure income with Plexus. And that's pretty serious. And as of maybe, I guess now it's only 2 months from now, Plexus will be my full-time income. And at that point, Plexus will have doubled my income. And so I think that not only do we not ever need to be embarrassed about network marketing, but that we need to be proud of what we do, and that we are professionals, and that what we're doing has value. We're helping to change people's lives, not only their health, but their finances as well. And I think that everybody on this call would second that. So I want to thank everybody for being on tonight's call. I don't want to keep you much longer. I would also ask, though, Andy, Brian, and Daniel, if there is one thing that you could say to maybe a spouse who is contemplating whether or not they should support their spouse in Plexus. Maybe one tip or bit of advice that you would give them. I know, Andy, you and Daniel are both unmuted right now, and Brian can unmute yourself as well. I'll start with you, Andy, and then just because this is the order that you're on my screen. Andy, if you'll go first, and then Brian, and then Daniel, if you could give maybe one tip to maybe a gentleman that's listening to the call, why should this be something that they not only should take seriously, Plexus as a business opportunity, but why they should support their spouse in any way that they can? Maybe just one little tip that you could give somebody that's maybe listening tonight.
One tip for a spouse, why they should support or why they should take it seriously. Well, because it's a business and it's a serious job. Just like if your spouse went out and got a job, that they had to leave the house, for 8 or 10 hours a day. You would support them in that. They're bringing in money. They're bringing in income. They're helping the household. But with this one, even though it's not a job per se, it is a business. And it's a serious business with serious potential. But again, you just have to put the time in. So in order to be able to do that, the entire household really has to be supportive.
Okay, thank you. Brian?
Yeah, I would say, what are you scared of, bro? Seriously, I mean, really, what are you afraid of? Your wife's going to make more money than you? Are you afraid that she's going to make people healthy and feel good about herself? There's a low barrier of entrance, low investment. There's a high ROI. It's just common sense. What do you have to lose?
Awesome. Thank you. And Daniel?
Yeah, I mean, aside from the fact of, we'll be millionaires in about a year or so, other than that, it's just, and I think Andy said it, supporting your better half in all endeavors, and being a team is very important for all aspects of your relationship, but especially in something that your wife is dedicating a lot of her time to.
Awesome. Thank you. I know for me, when I saw this chart that you see on your screen right now, I wasn't sure if it was anything that was actually possible. And the more and more people that I talk to in Plexus, and the more that I experience in myself, and I'm sure that you all on the call, because I know that you all are at some rank on this call as gentlemen on the call, that you know that these numbers are accurate. It's not conservative. And I can say that as a soon-to-be within the next 2 weeks Emerald Ambassador, that number there on an annual scale is also an accurate number, if not conservative. And I can tell you that I've had corporate jobs over the past 10 years that have paid me at that same salary level. And I can tell you that the amount of work and then the amount of time that I've had to spend away from my family, missing dance recitals, missing my own children's birthday parties, missing my own birthday, that there's not an amount of money that's listed on that chart that's worth it. And all I've ever done is help to build somebody else's dream. Brian and I have talked about that a couple of times. When you're going to work for somebody else, it's all about building their dream and sacrificing your own time, your own effort, your own will to do that for someone else. And good for them. We have that ability here in the United States of America to build your own dream. And through network marketing, the barrier to entry for cost does not exist. For $34.95, you have the ability to earn for myself in 12 months $120,000 a year on average, and for someone to give me a car and a trip to Hawaii and the benefits of my own health, you just can't put a price on that. I mean, that is something that you can't be even compared in any way to some type of corporate position. And you look at something like a Diamond Ambassador, which I will be by the fall of this year, and you look at that kind of money, and that is just something that doesn't even make sense. I can tell you, for anybody that's on this call who is a business owner, who owns their own business currently, I know that, again, Brian, not to pick on Brian, but he does own his own business, and he has the cost of employees and a building and rent or a lease or all of those things. And to be able to build Plexus, you would be crazy not to put the time and the effort into it, because the payoff is so incredible. I mean, I just can't even describe it. So I want to thank you guys for being on the call tonight. I do believe that Plexus can be life-changing for each of you. It could be the answer to what you're looking for. So please reach out to the person who invited you on this call. I, again, really appreciate your time tonight. And just know that if you're a spouse listening, jump in. If you're a gentleman who is thinking about the Plexus product, jump in. If you've ever thought that, could this work? If you'll work it, yes, it's going to work. So thank you guys for tonight, and thank you for everything that you do for our Plexus team. And I would welcome anybody who's listening on this call, because I know that after listening tonight, you'll be the next person to join us. So thanks, guys, so much. Have a good night.